Insta.
Look, we're on.
Mine's not showing us very well.
Oh, we'll fix it.
Okay.
Look.
There we go. Perfect.
Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Listen, it's the Thursday before Mother's Day. And I just want to give a shout out to all the moms and a mom of anything. That could be a lot of different ladies out there. And also, my new blog post on Mother's Day is going to be up hopefully maybe tonight. And it's really funny because I'm not a fan, Anna, of Mother's Day.
All right.
I don't like it.
Okay.
So I talk about that in my blog.
I'll have to read it.
Yep. And I give you a funny, real perspective about Mother's Day and why I don't like it.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, but you better go get your gift and make your mom happy and do something for your mom. We have to.
Yeah.
We have to.
Have an interesting.
Or maybe do nothing because
Mom
maybe
situation.
just need
I was like,
little
your grandma.
quiet.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, your grandma. Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. That was my whole blog.
Yeah,
Like
it was.
maybe we just don't need. Maybe we just need to cancel Mother's Day and Father's Day. I don't like Father's Day either.
You know.
This is another topic.
It is.
We need to have this another day.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so
We have
listen.
Animals Day. Animals
Yeah,
Day.
there we go.
exactly.
Yeah.
See, all right. Just everybody raise your hand. Give us a little shout out if you feel the same way. So listen, I have a big
Your
week.
mom said break a leg.
She did.
Irony.
All right. She always says that. Okay. Thanks, Mom. So we have a big week this week. I have Anna London on today, and she is precious and my new friend. And we're celebrating my mom's birthday this weekend. And listen, before I forget, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, Mayor's Wine Shop on Park Road. We are going to have a ladies' who lunch after dark, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can get your ticket in my Instagram link tree, Shelly L Henderson. We're going to post it on Facebook too. We have a nice crowd coming. We would like to have more. And Anna, you're going to come on.
Yes.
Anna's going to come too. So you'll be able to see her in person. She's just beautiful on the inside and outside. So with that said, I have Anna London here today. We are new friends, and we just literally met in person this morning. She is COO of Charlotte Works, and she's going to tell us all about what she does today and how she has started from scratch and inspired others around her. Because just like my story, from the outside, and she's much more beautiful than I am, but on the outside, we look like we have it all together, and we portray that, and we are positive, uplifting people, but everybody has a story. And I've said that before. So if you're new to our live segment, I want you to know that no one's life is perfect, but it's up to us to find the good, and everybody can start from scratch, and everybody can do something that is positive and that can positively impact and create positivity in other people's lives. So we're going to get started. Anna, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
You're a Charlottean.
I am. So I was actually born in Concord and spent all of my childhood and kind of growing up in Concord and then North Charlotte. So I guess I'm one of those unicorns that everybody talks about. So yeah, I've been here my whole life, so 33 years.
Do people look at you funny now? Because when I tell someone that I've been in Charlotte since the 4th grade, they go, "Oh." So because there's not many.
There's not many. Yeah. People always say, "Oh, you're such a unicorn."
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Charlotte is not what it used to be. And as a matter of fact, I have a cousin flying in from Detroit tomorrow, and it's probably been about 5 years since he's been here, and he's going to be shocked at just the airport, right?
Yeah. Oh,
you know?
I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, okay. So tell us what you do for fun.
Okay. So what do I do for fun? That's a great question. So I have 2 godchildren. My best friend has 2 kids. And so the little girl is 4 and the little boy is 1. So I do a lot with them. I do a lot with them on the weekends, and I work out a lot. So yeah, I guess that's what I do for fun.
And my new thing for fun for Anna is we're going to tag Chris Harrison because she needs to go on The Bachelor. She was so red.
I was like,
she's going. That's going to be her new fun.
I'm tagging him
fun.
right now.
Tag him. And
I'm
all
scared.
Anna's friends watching, we have to get her on because she is just too wonderful not to.
You're funny.
And you could take your positivity and just impact all those other women. It would be awesome. Okay, so where do you work out?
Yeah, so I work out at Orange Theory. Shout out to 12 Corners. So I work out at Orange Theory. I love running outside.
I've probably seen you there when I went once or twice.
Yeah, you should come up more often.
I'm coming back.
Yeah, come back. It's fun. I do flywheel sometimes.
Okay.
Go to the YMCA sometimes. So just kind of switch it up. Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
good. Very good. So tell us
Yeah.
about Charlotte Works.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
It
Listen to this.
is. I know. So Charlotte Works, for those that are not familiar, Charlotte Works is the Workforce Development Board for Charlotte and Mecklenburg County. And so we serve as the leader and the kind of the broker of the workforce ecosystem. And so that's, we work very closely with education, so K through 12, post-secondary, economic development, industry, so employer partners such as you. You were sharing some of your needs with me earlier. And other community-based organizations to make sure that our local talent, so the people living in Mecklenburg County, we make sure that they have the skills and the credentials that are needed for local job opportunities. So we're making sure that that the talent, we help to match the talent with the employers.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we also oversee and contract out we receive the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act funds. So it goes from Department of Labor to Department of Commerce and then to each of the workforce boards. And so we are one of 23 workforce boards in North Carolina and one of about 550 in the U.S. And so we contract out the NC Works Career Centers for Mecklenburg County. And then we have an in-school youth program and 2 out-of-school youth programs. And so in those programs in our career centers and for youth and young adults, we're providing comprehensive wraparound career development services.
And when you say youth and adults, tell us a little bit about, is that youths who are not on the college path, or is it, tell us a little bit about the person.
Yeah. So for in-school youth, we're working with youth that are juniors and seniors in high school. And so our provider is MECED, and they're inside of 5 CMS high schools. And so those youth are 16 to 21. They're low income and have a barrier to employment. And so we're really supporting them their junior and senior year to make sure that we're providing support so that they graduate high school, but then providing them with exposure to post-secondary opportunities and to work-based learning opportunities, so paid internships, workplace tours, coming somewhere like this to see, what does Henderson Properties do? What does it mean to do real estate? What does maintenance look like? Because otherwise they wouldn't know what they want to do. They may only be exposed to what their parents have done or kind of what they've seen in their neighborhood. And
Exactly.
wow. Yeah, so that's kind of that's our in-school youth group, and then we have out-of-school youth. They're young adults. They're 16 to 24, and I don't know a 24-year-old that wants to be called a youth. So
Yeah, exactly.
they're young adults. Yeah. So they're 16 to 24, and they are out of school. So they've either dropped out or they have graduated, and they're just not on a career path or a post-secondary path. So we're providing all of those same services, helping them get their high school equivalency, pairing them with providing paid internship, work-based learning opportunities. So the goal is to get them on a career path to sustainable employment. So we serve over 600 youth and young adults a year in our programs.
That's awesome. Okay, so if somebody wanted to volunteer, or if they work in a business that might need your services, how would they get in contact with you?
Yeah, so you can definitely go on our website. It's www.charlotteworks.com. And so they can go on our website, and there's a Contact Us tab, so they can send an email that way. Or you could absolutely email me, and I can get them connected with the right people. And so my email address is alondon@charlotteworks.com.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. And so also, because, we have a certain amount of time, I also want to talk to you about how you started from scratch. And I wrote a book. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did know that.
I wrote a book. And so part of the reason I wrote the book, and it's called Starting from Scratch. And if y'all need a quick Mother's Day gift, you can go on Amazon and get that. And I bet I will send it to you by tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
But I wrote the book because I felt like there were multiple times in my life that I actually had to start from scratch. And regardless of your age or circumstance, you can start over. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter. If you want to start over bad enough, if you have the resources, if you have whether or not you have a support system in your life, you have to make that conscious decision and that choice to start over. And would you like to share a little bit about that?
Sure. So it takes me to a moment, and maybe even a series of moments. But I was I would say the years between 18 and 21. Those were the years that I was starting from scratch. And I don't think I've ever put that term on it, but that's absolutely what it was. So growing up, I can remember as early as, probably my first memories were as early as 5 years old, my mom being hospitalized for mental illness and for addiction. She was extremely abusive to me, and I have a brother that's 2 years younger than me. She wasn't so physically and emotionally abusive to him, but he definitely experienced some of the same things. And so, from an early age, with my mom struggling with addiction and mental illness and myself being abused, my parents got divorced, and my mom had custody of us. And whenever I was 10, my mom, she was in and out of the hospital between 5 and 10 years old. And at 10 years old, I remember my dad picking me up from school and saying, Anna, your she's going to be hospitalized for a longer term. And so immediately I thought, I need to move in with my dad. He's stable. He was my everything. He was my rock. And so my dad got custody of us. Fast forward, a few more years, and I was in high school, and I didn't know it at the time, but our family dynamics were changing. My dad had remarried. I have my brother that's 2 years younger, and then my dad had 2 more children from that marriage. So I have another brother and a younger sister. So 1 sister and 2 brothers. And so by then it was 4 of us, and our dynamics were changing, and not in a positive way. It was time for me to go off to college. I found out my dad was struggling with addiction. My parents were losing everything. My younger brother was struggling, and I was in an extremely abusive relationship. And so I was continuing that cycle from my mom being abusive and addiction. Then it was my dad, my younger brother. Now I'm in an abusive relationship. And this is such a pivotal moment of my life where either I go one direction or I go the other.
Exactly.
So I signed up for school. I went to UNCG in Greensboro, and my mom's dad was a very successful attorney and owned a law firm in Greensboro. He was supportive of us while we were growing up, but very much from a distance. He didn't know how to support and love my mom, his daughter, except for financially. So he paid for treatment. He paid for us to live in a house. He paid for all of those things. So growing up, I experienced, of course, domestic violence. I was homeless a few times with my mom, even though my grandfather was sending money. It was going to drugs. I experienced sexual assault, all of those things. And so it all kind of culminated whenever I was in college. So I was at UNCG, and I started having dinner with my grandfather. And I was in crisis. I was definitely, spiraling.
And you were how old at this age?
At that time, it was 18, 19, 20. There were quite a few conversations. I only passed 1 class my first semester of college, and it was psychology. The rest of the classes I failed or made D's or whatever. I packed my stuff up at the end of the first semester, and I moved back home. My dad had been to rehab, and he was clean for the moment. He relapsed, and I went to have a meeting with my grandfather. So I had to go at 19 or 20 years old and go sit in his office, go through security, do all of those things.
That's so scary.
And it was scary. And I remember sitting across from his huge desk, is what it felt like at the time, downtown Greensboro. And I think this is the moment that I made a decision to start from scratch. He looked at me and he said, if you promise to not be a product of your environment, and you will do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, whether you feel like it or not, I will support you 110%. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that looked like, but I knew in that moment I had a chance to do better and turn my life around. So I started making smart decisions to get out of an abusive relationship. It wasn't easy. I couldn't just cut ties. My life was in jeopardy. I had restraining orders and all of that stuff. But I started to love people from a distance, even my parents, my own family, and was able to go to UNC Charlotte and finish undergrad and go to graduate school and get my master's in counseling.
Gosh.
So that was my moment
Aw.
of starting from scratch. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. And look where you are today.
Well, thank you.
And Anna continues to help those around her, and she talks about this very thing too. And she's an awesome inspiration to also follow on social media. Because listen, despite our circumstances, and at that particular moment, I mean, what if you had not taken advantage of that split second decision? But it's just a prime example of, even at 18, 19, 20 years old, or whether you're 30 or whether you're 50 or whatever, you can start over. And we can't be a product of our circumstances, and we should not be a product of our past, because we are not what it can stop with us.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation about this with somebody else, and we can stop what has happened to us in the past, and it does not have to trickle over to the next generation, I think is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know, because it can stop, and it should stop with us.
Yeah.
And that's just so exciting. Look at you.
Oh, thank you.
So proud of you.
Thank you.
She's awesome. And listen, don't ever think that you are not worthy and you don't have a story, or, you know, so many times I've been told in the past couple of weeks, and as I grow, you know, to do what I'm doing and pushing myself to do better and inspiring people from things in my past and what I've learned, people say, well, you know, you've got it all together. And listen, you know what? I don't have it all together.
No.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends on the day, and it just depends on the moment.
Right. And I think that's the thing, you know, we show up, and on the weekends you'll probably see me in yoga pants and workout clothes and whatever. And then sometimes, of course, I'm at work, and so I show up, you know, business or business casual. But I think it's so easy to look at people, and even especially, you know, leaders, but we put people on a pedestal, and we don't allow them to be people. And so I think it's so important to just meet people where they are, and allow them to be a person. We're all human. And so, you know, of course, we can't allow our stories to kind of bleed over into other people, and our stuff to hurt other people. But real people come to work, just like real people show up in the community. And it's okay to have a story.
It's okay. All right. See, I needed that today. Real people doing real things to encourage one another. And I'm so grateful that you came today.
Thank you. Me too.
And thank
I
you.
needed this.
You know, Anna knows Arden, and I've talked to y'all about Arden, and it's just another example of how, if you let yourself have a circle that widens and you're open to new experiences and new people, you never know who might come across your path, like you did today. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you a copy of the book.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so come Tuesday.
Okay.
All right, everybody get your ticket. Come see me and Anna on Tuesday night for a glass of wine and some more inspiration, and we're going to share some more things on Tuesday with you, or I will. Sorry, I didn't mean to say
I can too.
So anyway, all right, y'all have a good week and have a good weekend, and go celebrate all the lovely ladies in your life. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Bye. There we go. Look, yay!
I've done my first live.
Your first live. That's so cute.